the future of money will control the future of money.
Rick, you have been a proponent of crypto, I think, within the firm, probably more so than many others. Where do you see that now? We talked about what El Salvador did this week, but it speaks to all of the issues that you're dealing with here, which is what are real rates? What's the value of money?
So that's a tricky subject. So first of all, I'll say the first thing I will say on crypto, people describe it as a hedge or an alternative. I'm not sure it's a really great hedge. I mean, the correlation to equities, the correlation to risk assets, I'm not sure it's a great hedge. By the way, when an asset moves 10 to 15% a day, really hard to hedge big organic asset pools with that as a hedge. Is it an alternative currency? Listen, I've said it with you, Andrew. Listen, part of why I own a small piece of Bitcoin is I do think there are more people that are going to enter that fray over time. We have a very moderate position in our portfolio. I like assets that, quite frankly, are volatile, that have upside convexity. And I could see Bitcoin like it's done. I could see it go up significantly. But listen, I think it's volatile. I don't think it's a core asset class like bonds are or like stocks are. But I think it's, to have a bit as more of a speculative tool in a portfolio. Yeah, I think there's some value to that.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And guys, I come back with that video just to make you think. And we have Rick from Blackrock says that Bitcoin and crypto are not hedges. And we know they're not, because we know it's all dollar-based, which is controlled by the Fed. We know once the Fed starts pulling this rug, we know stocks and cryptos are going to take a hit. Now we have Biden. And guys, I got to tiptoe around this one. Does executive orders on the Fed workers for the Pope. So guys, we know that our freedoms in America are what? Definitely over. In 2020, America ended. And we know Babylon is falling fast. And the rise of China is about to begin. And we know all this is just a distraction to move us over to the fourth industrial revolution. And in my book, I went all over this. Nanotechnology, because eventually this is going to lead to nanobots getting inside of your system. Humanity will be part human and part machine. Transhumanism is right around the corner. And we know these cryptos are not for us. Remember, crypto means hidden message. They're for the robots, algorithms, and drones that take over this new economy. Get your friends and family educated. Let them know they have been indoctrinated, and we are definitely the chosen generation, either to stand up or lay down. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you, because when it comes to the New World Order, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Some breaking news from the ECB. Steve Leisman is on the CNBC Newsline. Steve.
Hey, Joe. Yeah, the ECB announced today it would do a moderately lower pace of purchases under its Pandemic Emergency Purchase Program. And just so you know, that's program AMME, the way they spell it over there. They have a total amount of 1.85 trillion that they've allocated for bond purchases and other asset purchases for the pandemic. They've been doing about 80 billion euro a month. And the expectation, they didn't announce the number, is that they go down to 60 or 70. So in dollar terms, that's like going from 94, 95 billion dollars down to 82. So, be still your beating heart in terms of they're still out there purchasing. It's not necessarily a taper. It's a reduction in the level. They're supposed to keep going till March. We'll see if this kind of helps the Fed with a green light to begin its own asset purchase reduction. But the ECB saying it will reduce the monthly purchases under the PEP program. Joe?
Let's talk a little bit about what the ECB is doing and what you think Jay Powell is now thinking.
Listen, I think what the ECB is doing is the right thing. I mean, they are moderating their amount of purchases. I mean, they're moving a bit back from emergency conditions, as Steve said. Take that number down from 80 billion to 70 billion. You're still talking about immense amounts of quantitative easing going to the system, but recognizing that the system can pull back a bit from the emergency infusions of liquidity you've seen. By the same thing you've seen the Bank of England, Bank of Canada, Korea's doing it. Listen, I think the Fed, time has come that we can move off of emergency conditions. Listen, the system is stuffed with liquidity. And the only thing the ECB is doing is recognizing, gosh, you can pull back. I mean, it's still immense liquidity. I also think there's something very important I think Christine Lagarde is referring to. They are still far away from their inflation targets. So rates are going to stay low. The quantitative easing is going to stay high for a period of time. But can you pull back a bit from the emergency conditions? Absolutely. And I think we're seeing that.
Throw in.
I think this whole Bitcoin stuff, I have a great respect for Barry Diller. And I think he was on recently, and he said that the Bitcoin was a con job. I don't know if there's a con job, but I take the easy way out. I say that if you don't understand Bitcoin, that means you're old. I'm 78. I'm old. I don't understand it. But one thing I do know, it is not in the interest of the U.S. government to further a substitute for the U.S. dollar. So my guess is I'll be very careful in Bitcoin. I don't think it makes a great deal of sense. If you're nervous about the world, gold to me would be a better place to store value than Bitcoin. And I own very little gold. I'm a paper guy. I'm a perennial optimist. I kind of agree with Warren Buffett. People don't get rich being short America, but I must say I'm very concerned about a lot of things. The artificiality in bonds, the attacking of the wealthy people, and the fact that we pulled demand forward. Because the Fed has really elevated unemployment relative to inflation as the key goal of dealing with it, and that's why you're seeing their policies and why you're seeing the policy of the administration. Biden is a big government guy, and we can't afford big government now. We have to have more balanced policy.
The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come, Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids' books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate. Not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.